Franchise sales mistakes, lost opportunity, two things we need to avoid. And I'm going to share with you the biggest franchise sales mistake that we see new and emerging franchisors making. It's a big mistake. It's probably costing you deals and it's preventing you from gaining traction. We're all on a mission, and this is especially the case for franchise buyers. They're looking to improve their lives, and first and foremost, they're looking for economic opportunity. And the mistake that I'm talking about, the big mistake that we see new and emerging franchisors make, they haven't clearly defined and communicated the economic opportunity they're offering their franchise buyers. Now, bear with me and stick with me in this video. This may sound obvious and it may sound like something you're already addressing, but I promise you, the opportunity for you to differentiate your brand, to magnetize and improve the copy on your website, your broker communications, your franchise sales process, and to gain that momentum, I'm going to challenge you to dive deeper into the opportunity profile of your franchise. And I promise you, it's going to create more opportunity for franchise sales. So, your good fit opportunity profile, and you've probably seen this in some of our other videos. Every franchise fits into one of four categories, or maybe it could be a combination of both, but we want clarity. When your franchise buyers, your perfect fit franchisees, what role does your franchise serve in their lives, in the economic opportunity they're looking for? Are your franchise sales targeted to buyers who are looking to support their lifestyle? Is it to supplement their income, replace their income, or create a legacy? And when we're talking about opportunity profile, the factors, that we're dealing with is your item 7 estimated initial investment and how that correlates and compares to the financial information, the financial story in your item 19. And it's very straightforward. Typically, the higher the initial investment, the higher the expectations a franchise buyer has for ROI. So on the legacy building end of our opportunity profile, think of brick and mortar retail businesses, think of a restaurant, think of an opportunity that requires a higher estimated initial investment. And that's going to correlate with an expectation by your franchise buyer for higher ROI potential. And most likely, at a minimum, they're expecting from an opportunity standpoint to at a minimum replace their income, and at a maximum with the hope that they could use this franchise investment to build a legacy. On the other end of the spectrum, lower startup costs, possibly lower ROI expectations. Franchise buyers are maybe considering an investment that's going to help support their lifestyle and maybe help them achieve a greater good or supplement their income, right? ROI expectations are lower, estimated initial investment is lower. So why am I bringing this all up? Because it's so overlooked. And it's not always the fault of the franchisors, especially new and emerging franchise brands. You're entering the franchise space, you're relying on consultants and advisors and so-called marketing experts. And what happens next is we see media, we see franchise sales websites, we see broker communications, they're confused. And the confusion reflects the fact that you don't clearly understand the lane you're in, why your franchise exists, and how it's going to support the economic objectives of your franchise buyers. Now, how do I know this? Well, when we look at typical websites, what is some of the information we see on them? And how do I know that franchise brand hasn't clearly defined their opportunity profile and they haven't clearly examined how their franchise is going to fit into the lives of their franchisees? Well, there's buzzwords, right? We look at franchise sales websites and we see generic headlines, like at the top of the franchise sales webpage, like franchise with us. And when we dive deeper into the website, we'll see financial data, like how much the initial franchise fee is, how much the royalty rate is, how much the estimated initial investment is. We'll even see general statements and platitudes about the great support we're going to provide and the access to the brand and the training. But you know what's missing is the economic story. Economically, what should a franchise buyer expect? So if we're a higher estimated initial investment business where franchise buyers are going to expect a higher ROI, Well, then we're in the income replacement legacy building category. So, what does that mean? Well, think about that. If our franchise buyers, from an opportunity standpoint, are looking for income replacement and possibly legacy building, then we should be recasting all of our communications through that prism. So when you think about the headline of your website, it should be focused on transformation more in line with um, building a legacy and replacing income through the business. And how we do that or how that translates, it's not so simple, but that should be the focus. Deeper down in the website, when we're focused on the three uniques of your franchise, again, this is higher estimated initial investment. Our franchise buyers are expecting income replacement and legacy building. We need to speak to that. We can't just engage in generic communications about our franchise fees, royalties, or the one that drives me nuts is you'll see on so many websites, whether I'm in the restaurant category or service category, lazy marketers, you know what they say? They'll put in a line about join a $15 billion industry or a $10 billion industry. They'll provide general information about the industry. I really don't care about that. And I'll show you some examples. So we need to address how our franchise fits in as income replacement, how it fits in as legacy building, and how we help them get there. Now, naturally, we can't go beyond the scope of our item 19. And I'm not just talking about our item 19 data, which needs to support this opportunity that we're offering, but putting it all together. And as another example, say it's a lower startup cost business, lower ROI expectations, lifestyle type business, or franchisees are expecting supplemental income, not income replacement. Well, think about how the tone, the copy, the content, broker communications, it's going to change, right? So now all of a sudden, we're focused more on lifestyle. We're focused more on transformation, focused on franchise buyers, achieving lifestyle goals, going to the weekend baseball or basketball or soccer games. That'll be more prominent in our copy than it would be on a business that's just income replacement or legacy building. So how you set your opportunity profile becomes the prism for how you're going to develop the copy and how you're going to communicate with brokers in the world, right? So if you're a supplemental income business, own that category. Be a supplemental income business. Don't try to sit in the place of income replacement or don't try to fit that role yet, because what'll happen is we may be setting franchisee expectations too high. You may onboard the wrong franchisee. We don't have validation, and now we're going to lose traction. So not only is it important in the franchise sales process, right, who we're attracting and how we're attracting our franchise buyers, it also sets expectations, right? It's always good if we position a brand. Now, this is especially the case if you're a new franchisor. There's a ton of service-based businesses that are low startup cost that have the ability to replace income. And depending on what our item 19 says, right? So maybe we position the franchise sales process for the first 5 or 10 franchisees in the supplemental income, just edging into the income replacement category. What does this do for us? Well, it makes sure we're being very precise in who we're attracting. We're making sure, if anything, we're under promising and later hopefully we'll over deliver and create amazing validation. Right. And we're creating clarity about what we're offering and who we're offering it to. We can't be everything to everyone. And what happens is I see franchise sales website materials, even how your FDD is developed, your initial franchise fee, whether or not you offer single territories, multi-territories, the data that you disclose in your item 19 financial performance reps, they're not aligned with a specific opportunity profile. Which really does lead to an important point when you're considering your item 19, which is if we're working with a client and they're an income replacement business, well, we'll be for sure, we need to hone in on that item 19. Beyond just gross sales and beyond cost of goods sold, we want to get into a deeper dive of data that's going to show select expenses so franchise buyers can evaluate whether or not financially Our item 19 supports income replacement. And that could be for a brick and mortar business. It could even be for a service based business, right? We have plenty of service based businesses where franchisees own multiple territories. And there's a way to present the data so a franchise buyer can understand if this is an income replacement business for them and possibly if they could turn it into legacy building. So when you think about your opportunity profile, when you look at these four circles, use them as a prism to look through each of those lenses as to the opportunity profile you're offering. And then in translation, how does that influence your communications? How does that influence how you're positioning your franchise offering and all the media you're developing? And I promise you, it's what it's going to allow you to do: create more clarity, remove uncertainty, remove friction, create credibility with brokers, and set your future franchisees up so their expectations are aligned and can be exceeded, and we create great validation going forward. So the big mistake, you may have thought about your opportunity profile, but you haven't viewed your entire franchise offering through this prism of your opportunity profile and your opportunity profile category. And this should affect everything from how your FDD is developed, your initial franchise fees, how your item 19 is developed, what's the conversation in your media between your estimated investment and your item 19 data, your broker communications, and the conversations you're creating and having in your media and with your franchise buyers. And this is the big opportunity. Now, I can show you some examples of some websites where this clarity doesn't exist and there's confusion. Some website examples, and these are just my opinions. Our team actually went to the websites of 3 different franchise development companies, so-called franchise sales experts, and where they identify some of their clients. We randomly picked one client from each of the developer websites, went to the website. What I'm about to share with you is their website, but it's blurred out. And again, I'm making no comment about the franchisor or the franchise development company. These are just my opinions, but I think provide a good example of how these developers and these franchisors, they're making this big mistake that we're talking about. They're not viewing their opportunity, their franchise offering through a clear prism of their opportunity profile. So let's go through some of these examples here. Again, I apologize, we blurred them out. It's not fair to, I didn't want to be criticizing other franchise brands. But what you'll see right away when you're looking at your website, there's a headline at the top. We want that headline to be transformative, right? Franchise buyers are looking to transform their lives. And well, what would be a good transformative headline? For me, I'm thinking about transformation. I'm going to first start off with, well, what's the opportunity profile? If our franchise buyer is buying because of lifestyle, then my headline is going to be focused on their lifestyle. If it's to supplement their income, then it's going to be talking about lifestyle plus the income boost, right? Some type of transformative headline. If it's income replacement or legacy building, then I'm going to get much more serious with my headline. And it's going to be focused on that economic transformation. And again, what do we see on so many websites? We see generic, nothing. We see join the blank team. It's a meaningless statement. It's not focused on any transformation, or at least these are my opinions. Again, on this website example, it's own your own blank franchise. Again, franchise buyers are not, their goal is not to buy a franchise, it's to buy a business. And it's not just to buy a business, it's to create economic opportunity. And like we said, that opportunity is lifestyle, supplemental income, income replacement, legacy building. So it's not about owning your own franchise. It's about building your blank income, or right. So we need to focus on these transformative points. And if you continue on the website, now they're talking about benefits of this, of becoming a franchisee. Again, I want to own a business that is going to do X for me, replace my income, help me build a legacy, support my lifestyle, supplement my income. So I would expect the benefits to be one of those things. On this website example, their benefits are healthy work-life balance, no working weekends, family-owned and operated financial freedom. So the first one seems like it's a lifestyle category. Second one seems like lifestyle category. Then we have financial freedom. I guess that's income replacement, legacy building, family owned and operated. I don't know why that matters. But the point, and again, about the big mistake, there's no clarity about the opportunity profile. And more important, rather than a generic list, there's no to the point conversation with candidates about what it's like to own this business and what it does for you in your life. And maybe we pull in item 19 data, maybe we pull in information about unit economics, operations, repeat customers, scalability, territories, those types of things. And again, what we see often, I don't know about my opportunity profile. I don't know about the economics of this impacting my life. But so many websites, where they do, they go right into telling you how much you're going to pay the franchisor. So I know I'm going to pay the franchisor a franchise fee. I know I'm going to invest in initial investment, but I don't know how this is going to support my economic goals. I don't know any of that in this website. Here's another example. This one's in a restaurant category. It says join a creative blank. So it's the brand name. I don't know why creative is part of the headline. How is that part of the franchisee transformation? Well, now here, at least they're bringing in an economic positioning or economic story. They're saying franchise with a strong potential ROI. I mean, that's very generic. Let's hope they're supporting this. So at least they're telling me I should expect strong potential ROI. I don't know what that means. I mean, it's very passive, but at least it's ROI focused. Again, I don't comment about the brand. I don't know. They could be a great franchise system and a great franchise developer that did this. If I look at the copy some more, it says, do you want to see a quick return on your investment with an original it's in a restaurant category. A quick return on your investment. So what does that even mean? Does that mean I'm going to get a quick return on my estimated initial investment? What is a quick return, right? So I'll tell you, as franchisors out there, this isn't legal advice, but you got to be very careful with statements like this. Right now, what someone is communicating to me is, if I buy this franchise, now this may be puffing and it may not be a legal issue. You're telling me I'm going to have a quick ROI. So I expect to see financial data in this website that shows my estimated initial investment and my item 19 financial performance representation, and how quickly it'll take me to return my investment, I assume. And to do that, I would assume also need to see at least cash flow numbers, EBITDA numbers. But again, do you want to see a quick ROI? And it says this model requires reasonable overhead and startup costs and has applicability in. It's just general knowledge. It's just general statements, guys, right? First of all, don't refer to your business and franchise as a model. This is just franchise speak by developers and people that think everyone else knows or wants to buy a franchise model. No one does. But again, there's a conversation about ROI, but there's no numbers. And they say they'll teach you how to make a profit quickly. Again, what does that even mean? How to make a profit quickly? How are you going to teach me how to make this profit quickly? And right. So it's just a lot of puffery. And I will tell you, in my opinion, this is where franchisors lose credibility. More important, this is probably an amazing franchisor, an amazing founder, and just a development team or a marketing team put together this generic copy. And again, to my point, I think this is the biggest mistake new franchisors make. It's also your opportunity. Get rid of this generic copy that's meaningless. If you are high ROI business with amazing numbers and you're confident in presenting them, then they should be dead center in the middle of your FDD. And if you're not that confident, or if it's not that overwhelming, you shouldn't be making these generic statements. So next on their website are franchise facts. So I could be proven wrong here. Let's see. Estimated initial investment, item 19, gross sales, gross profit, EBITDA, cash flow, right? You're telling me I'm going to see a quick return on my investment. Okay, show me the franchise facts. And what do I get? I get none of that. I have, again, what happens often, I'm told how much money I'm going to pay the franchisor as the initial franchise fee, and I'm told what my estimated initial investment is. You're telling me to focus on ROI, but you'll see in these 4 uniques or 4 highlighted items, no ROI, no item 19 data, no data that shows why I'll have higher profitability than with another system or anything like that. And I go into the generics. or the website goes into generics of, here we go, franchise facts, initial fee, you're going to support me like every other franchisor. You're on a mission. Again, we're all on a mission. What's the opportunity profile? How do you help me achieve my mission of improving the economics of my family? And then they tell me what they look for in franchisees. So again, the opportunity, dive deeper. What's your opportunity profile? If you're telling, now again, don't try to be everything to everyone. Does high ROI ability mean what am I? Is this income replacement or legacy building? And if it's either, you're using terms like ROI, show me what the ROI is, or at least let me understand the mechanics and operations of the business so I could say, okay, they're presenting themselves. I want to replace my income. This franchise could be a good fit. Oh, I see. They offer product A. They're reporting good profit margins in their item 19, and they have this system to scale. Those would be three uniques, and you dive deeper, right? So in this case, if it's a restaurant, I want to know what food cost is. I want to know what labor cost is. I want to know what cash flow is. I want to know what advantage I'm going to have in terms of purchasing. I'm going to want to know how my margins are improved. I'm going to want to see what my estimated initial investment is. None of that's here. And I don't blame the franchisor. Someone just, in my opinion, got lazy. And what do? They throw all the generics in. So again, this is the mistake, but I promise you it's the opportunity also. And the biggest item I could say is don't live with this media. I see so many franchisors, they go to broker groups, they go to broker virtual conferences, they go to broker meetups, and no one is telling them and taking the time to say, brokers are not going to present your franchise. There's a lack of clarity here. And in my opinion, a lack of credibility. What are we and how do we do it? There's also other items missing, when we focus on brand story and founder story and all things we talk about with our clients. And here we go again. So they told me about ROI, but now they're just no information, no financial, no economic positioning. I get the generics. They're going to support me operationally. They're going to give me marketing and comprehensive training. That doesn't help me. And, developers, they love telling you how I could become a franchisee, but they're not telling me why. Okay. And one last example. I was on a developer website. This is just my opinion. And the headline is the blank franchise details. Again, where you need to speak to franchise buyers, where they're at and the opportunity they're looking for. And that gets to your transformative headline, all things we talk about in our brand story masterclass that we go through, and you'll see in our videos. But again, no economic positioning here. Same thing. In fact, they're telling you they have limited opportunities, which is probably not the case. They're a brand new franchisor. And what's the data they're giving you? Startup costs. So what are we missing? We're missing the economic opportunity, the opportunity profile. Guys, that's the big mistake that new and emerging franchisors make. And the examples I just gave, they may be extreme examples, but I'll challenge you, dive deeper. When we're working with our clients, let's look at our item 7. Are we home-based? Are we a mobile business? Are we a brick and mortar business? And as to that element, that operational element, what's the detail we're communicating to franchise buyers? Item 7, what's our estimated initial investment? And then how does that correlate with our opportunity profile? Right? Are we lifestyle, supplemental income replacement, legacy building? Item 19, what's the data we're providing? If we're income replacement, legacy business, opportunity, well, we better have much more deeper detail in our item 19 than a lifestyle business. And then how does this all come together in terms of transformative headlines on your website, copy, discovery process materials, how you're communicating with franchisee candidates, and how you're communicating with franchise brokers. So I will tell you, dive deeper, really challenge this, and you're going to create more momentum. And then the last point I'd like to share is just because you could be in multiple categories, but just be careful. So when we're working with lower startup costs businesses, especially service-based businesses that have tremendous income potential, well, we could position where we're in the supplemental income slash income replacement category. And likewise, income replacement slash legacy building category for different types of businesses. So you could exist in that gap, but you just need to be clear about what we're communicating. That's the biggest mistake. And if you have this issue, the fact that you're recognizing it now, that's the important thing. So work on your media, really dive into your brand positioning. And if you like, reach out. We have our brand story masterclass. We have our brand positioning guides. I promise you the opportunities in the detail.